And then some, dear, you betcha, and how, says the old man, from this old scow called Spaceship Love, graceful thing that it is, man, poised for takeoff here at 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, the place where we give birth, B-E-R-T-H, to ourselves, and then, of course, we take off and fly, man, you know. Don't you remember last week we saw all those fluffy little clouds, those saucer-shaped ones stacked on top of each other and funky things like that, turning into bright cities of light. And like the angels that we are, we just took flight because that was home calling us back, saying, hey, baby, don't you remember who you are now? Why do you think you can't let go of that Fender guitar, man? Ooh, it's your heart and soul. It's an angel harp, don't you know? Well, Mr. Fender'd be proud, man, with what we've done here in this 3D with his rockin' little instrument of love, man. I'm telling you, some things are far more than genius. Some things are just downright perfect, and that's the way they should be. So here's to that, and to you and me and all the rest of us, setting ourselves free of the tyranny we see all in this world around us. Oh, baby, here we go with a new formula on this medicine show, don't you know? Oh, it's the same old tired one too, man, but it ain't so tired. It's been rehired and refreshed, man. I mean, I think we gave it a reboot a while ago. Ooh, baby, watch out for this world now, W-H-I-R-L-E-D. Yeah, the whirling around world, man, you betcha. You know, we're going to have world peas, man. Everybody gets some green peas for lunch today. I know, it's a tired old bumper sticker, but I love the old joke of it anyway, don't you? See, this is the life we're living. It's kind of a joke. Now, sometimes I get just a little bit somber about it, and, you know, I start picking on Dick Cheney and Bill Clinton again, and Hillary. I can't help it, man. You know, these people deserve it, man, you know. Don't you think? I mean, you know, shit, they make a target out of themselves. What are you going to do? You're going to shoot your arrow at the woods instead? No, you might hit somebody over there, you know. You're going to hit the target, you know. That's what you do. You're Cupid, don't you know. The arrow never misses when you shoot it, baby. You in the flow, darlings. See, and that's what we're doing today. We're shooting Cupid's arrow right at them, and we're hitting them square on, babies. Right between the eyes. Right in the heart of love. Boing! The conscious dead presence comes back to life. Because Cupid arrow is like, wow, irresistible love. You know how it is, baby. When you're totally, completely, flatly falling in love with somebody, you know. Well, I hate to use the term fallen, but sometimes it seems like it, because you sure do reduce yourself for the purpose of regeneration with another soul. You know, your old heart just says, ooh, that's the one, I just got it, oh man. And the other one's going, well, baby, I don't know, man, who are you, and what are you all about, you know? And in other words, holding you with kind of a bit of a disdain, and keeping a distance to you because you're like, you know, incredibly crazy, man, you know, and out of your ever frickin' mind, man, you know. Ever loving mind, I was going to say. Just kind of stumbled on my words today. Grandpa does that every now and then. Pardon me, okay? We get this medicine show underway. So you're love struck, you know, girl or guy, you're just totally love struck, you know. I mean, you got that obsessional thing going on. You can't help it. So you take that obsessional quality and you assign it to the attributes of the person instead of the personage that you see there, the persona, you know. Because, you know, your love might be misdirected ever so slightly, you know. I mean, I know, I've been guilty of it, haven't you? I fall in love at least, 22 times a day when I'm out moving around. I mean, just about everybody I meet, I'm like, wow, you know, at least for a moment, and how, man, you know. There are so many saints running around amongst the crazy people of this humanity. I mean, there are people taking it, lying down, standing up, and every variety in between, hauling ass down the freeway, etc. The freeway is alive, and the highways too, man. Thank goodness for getting out of that one, eh? See, because this really is, it's the day, what is it, March 7th, yeah. The 7th's the lucky day, man, especially when you combine it with a 3, because that makes it a 10, which makes it a 1, you see. You see? So out of the magic 7 comes the 1. Oh, we're just having fun in that coyote way. like to baffle you just a wee bit so you'll kind of contemplate it and start to see it for a reality, you see. I don't deal in theory and philosophy here. I deal in reality, man, just like you do, man. You know, the bullshit went out the window quite a while ago, you know. We don't put up with much heretical thought. We'll listen to a bit of it just to get to glean what we can from others' little circumstance. But we know reality when we hear it, when we see it, when we identify with it. That's truth. And we know what that is. And so we know anything that doesn't feel that way, well, take it for what you will, eh? It's a magnificent and a magnifying Monday here on the Coyote Medicine Show with Grandpa Coyote and our host of angelic friends and, you know, a whole bunch of others that are helping out. Man, this universal life is so into us right now. You know, I mean, where is that song, So Into You? I'm going to get that on here after a while, man, and help. So into you, I just can't get enough of that. Whatever the words are is beautiful, baby. You hear them in your heart and soul. You understand what I mean, don't you know? See, and we're kind of like the unrequited part of that love, man, because we like never really acknowledged it or send it back. But of course we do all the time, but we're just not consciously present in that. And that's why life's been a little screwed up. But you know, we've been admired for the tests that we've created for ourselves here. And that's exactly what these are. Every moment that we're living is a test that we're given to our very own heart. The question being, how durable are you? How much can you take? How far can we stretch it? You know, when you find yourself totally and completely enthralled by another, the reason why I tell you to assign your obsession to the qualities of that person rather than the persona, then you're going to start to see what it is you really love. Those qualities that make them so human and so beautiful in that humanity. And see, it's what you feel like you're lacking inside of yourself. The beautiful side of life. So you're trying to reconnect, reassociate with that outside of yourself. You see? And you start to see that when you know, move the object, the obsession from the person to the qualities of the person that you love so greatly, you see? The energies that are exuded from them qualities. Maybe you're like this one guy met a woman that, man, I mean, you know, she was a little bit on the rich side of life. So she would go down like to the Sal and the Goodwill in the morning or places like that, gather up all the blankets, buy them all, and spend the day going out and handing them out to homeless people in the winter months under the bridges and so forth. You know, when people were cold and dreary, man. I mean, you know, angels everywhere in this life, babies. And this is what you're going to see a lot more of rising up here. Because we put down the gauntlet this morning, man. We've risen to the challenge in our heart. So anything that's in our way today, we're going to dissolve away. And you know, first by ending that lonely obsession that says we've got to have it outside of ourselves. It's got to be with another person. Well, hell, we're with everybody. You find that out as you go through it. And of course there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or 7 that manifest a family kind of energy around you and you around them too, because you're the same being in persona, given in 7 different ways. And see, this is how we're always manifesting our spiritual terminologies, is in 7 different ways. The 7 fathoms of 7, what do you call that, items, I guess. I can't find the right word right now. The 7 points of light that are the essential love of creation in motion, that creates the motion all around it. You see, and we are that centered light, that one point of light at the center of it all, and we're the other 6 as well, because we're unified in the triangulation of the pyramidic and diamond shape of ourself. The pure heart, that which is innocent, sees clearly and creates from that innocent purity. Now, for many of you, that's a bit baffling, but this is essentially the vision as you're going to live it and see it. So I'm trying to describe the movement of love in this life in ways that are really indescribable. It's an experience that you really have to be in to know what the hell I'm talking about. And I highly suggest a little toke of Mary Jane to help you along the way, or marijuana, as we say in the vernacular reality. provided you can do so legally. And if you can't, well, come on over here and visit Colorado or one of the other states that, just visit, that have it legal. And babies, we will accommodate you greatly, and so will Mary Jane. You see, when you take it in a respectful sort of way, whatever form you take it in, it doesn't really matter. You're essentially telling the universe in your own heart, which is the universe, you're telling that universe, hey, I'm ready for the expanded view. I've been beat up bad enough in this life. I don't care how rich or poor I am, etc. I've been beat up enough in this life. I don't want to take it anymore. I want to be loved. And I want to be loved by everyone around me too. I don't want anyone creating violence or harm for anyone else. This is ridiculous. I've had enough. We can't live like this. We're not this. That's a nightmarish daydream we live in. Our truth is far beyond that. See, now you're getting down to the source of loneliness, which causes you to reach out beyond yourself. When you feel so beat up by the world, is that your life, and I tell you, from the wealthiest to the poorest, we all kind of have this in our life. We feel a little controlled by the life we're living and not so much in control of it. And we are directed, we feel, by some kind of indescribable flow we see outside of ourselves that just kind of pings us around like a ball in a pinball machine. You go from one racket to another racket to another racket. For example, you're born into expectations. And if you can, you do your best to fulfill them. But sometimes these family obligations are beyond your capability to even understand, let alone go ahead and employ. And guess what? You wind up on the streets, cut off from them all, disowned. They don't even know you. Etc., Well, there's humanity. We've been orphaned like that. It's not that we didn't have parents and they didn't love us and they didn't watch out for us, but they had to do so quietly in the background. Because we were here to test our durability, to find out how much love we could be and how far we could really take it, How far could we stretch it beyond the realms of, the demons and the dragons and the hell we could create out of the paradise we lived in. How mournfully separate could we become, to the point where our agony was howling beyond the moon. You know exactly what I mean. Anybody out there that suffered a loss of a loved one in this life knows exactly what I mean. The grief is beyond comprehension, the sense of separation, the deepest pain there ever was. To have those you love swept away, sometimes right before your very eyes in an accidental way or something. Oh my God. The impact of that, yet you see now another aspect, another way. See, there's not this cosmic indifference that would take the life of a child or a loved one away from you like that. Because there's not really the separation. No one's taken. Everyone is given. We take different rides at different moments in time. We're in and out of this life like the weavers in a woven rug, man, a tapestry as I call it. We weave in and out of this life. There's a cosmic poetry to it, a dance to it, and a connected nature of it, that in our grief it really is a denial of our true reality. There is no separation. When you lose, let's say a brother or sister or someone you really love, and you're a young child yourself, 5 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, something like that, it doesn't feel the same as it does a few years later when you're, quote, an adult. You see, when you're younger, you're kind of numb to all of that stuff. You don't feel it that way because it's a lie. That the separation is not, of a person going away and dying as we see it. That empty cadaver there is still filled with life and living, and the life beyond it continues. And we know that. We're completely attached. We know that at this baser level of life. It's been subconscious in many, but we see the weavings in and out. And when we're children, we're closer to that awareness, that memory of how it really is, because we just weaved in, once again. You see, so we don't feel it the same way. I lost a little brother, and I'm not looking for sympathy, so don't cry for me. But I lost a little brother when I was a younger man. And I realized those kind of things in that time, that really there was no going away. There's a different approach you got to take to live it with those beings now. If you want to continue your association, see, And the grief is the denial of that association, and oftentimes that so-called departed one is tapping you on the shoulder the whole time and weeping tears with you because they really want so much to still be there for you. And you don't even see that your grief builds a wall that doesn't allow that. See how tragic our illusion, how it takes us away from ourselves. Now you understand why people can be so heartless, because the grief gets beyond comprehension. And it loads up on you until you don't feel anything anymore. It's just a heavy weight, a burden that you carry, but you make it into some kind of blessing and start to revel in it a bit, you know. That's the darker way. That's the way of the dragons, you know. Sometimes dragons can be like Puff the Magic Dragon. In fact, most of them are the creations of hell that we've made out of them here. Well, sometimes the reasons aren't always clear, but we sure got through it. That much I can say. You know, I'm not going to try and explain away the nastiness that's gone on here and the imposition of the police state once again on a worldwide basis and stuff. I'm not even going to talk about that shit. We did it earlier anyway. But, you know, why we even allow that to be. But of course, you know, it's unexplainable, yet in the real world of the heart, we put ourselves to the test to the extreme. The most severe things there could be in this world came forward because of our desire to test ourselves beyond anything we could comprehend, yet do so in a way that would be harmless to others in a sense. So out of the light of love that we are, we created this dream we live in to experience the terror of separation and the pain that could be inflicted upon us from others who felt it deeper than we did and figured we needed another dose of it. You know, take my pain, help me get past that shit. I need peace. Well, of course, everyone does. And that's the essential desire. To be returned to a conscious presence where you see the flow of life passing through you, and you understand that and you flow with it, baby. Because that's who you are, and that's what you're all about. The gift of love, baby's coming to you from 9,000 feet above here on this Rocky Mountain Day. Boy, we got a Sangre de Cristo Day underway again out there, man. The red gold of sunrise spreading toward us. You ought to seen the glittery sky a few minutes ago. I think there's gateways opening in that sky all around this earth. Be ready, babies. This is for real now. This isn't something we've just imagined out of nowhere, though we do live by our imaginative heart indeed. And through that imaginative heart and the loving flow of it is creation made, you know. We're just returning to a state of daylight where we remember that. So the divisions between the earths, yeah, there's more than one, and the parallels, and then the dimensions, of course, begin to dissolve away as your understanding increases in this heartfelt way. As you just blossom out. See yourself as the blossoming flower, and you'll understand what I mean. The further out the petals get, the more they receive of the vision of the life all around them. And know why they're there to celebrate that life and be the flower of love that they are. Because that's creation. You're a reflection of it, see? A perfect reflection of it. So that it can see itself and be itself and live itself. And above all, love itself. Look at the qualities you hold dear in those that you love, not the ones you don't like. Look at the qualities. And see if you aren't reflected in those qualities. Isn't your desire already fulfilled inside your own heart? Don't you already have that quality? Can't you love yourself with equal intensity then? And allow that quality to hatch out a little more? Maybe you'll be more attractive. Maybe things can work out in, the impossiblest things. When you start to rise in dimension and conscious presence, there's only possibilities in the ways of living them. Nobody is hurt or wounded by anything, and the flow is love constantly. You see, it changes our way of being to allow that to be. That's the gift of love we're sharing with this reality on this very day. From the top to the bottom and inside out too, man. It's coming through me, it's coming through you, and all these others too, who are the radiant fire of life, of transformation. The gift of the coyote medicine becomes a little more plain today. Well, it's a magnificent and magnifying Monday. Why shouldn't it? That's what we're here to share, baby. That's what we're here to be. We got to let go of all the old agony. It's all bullshit, man. You know, can't be all sorrowful for ourselves or anyone else. Celebrate the lives that you lived with them while they were here. Now, I know some of you have experienced past life memories, blah, blah, blah. But, I just remember one life that was really short. 10 years. Taken tragically in, younger days. But, man, and in a real harsh place where the weather was cold and the living was not easy. But it was beautiful. There was so much love in those sweet 10 years between this motherly person and I. Sometimes we live lifetimes just for the sweetness of a moment like that. Maybe that moment of life is right here in us right now. Maybe we remember that because it reflects the truth of all time and everything that we're living. Maybe. Hey, I'm giving it to you the coyote way here in the Hazy Radio Network. You're getting it clear too, ain't you, dear? I thought so. Yeah. See, our hearts are unified. We're one gigantic expression of the grandmother's love. And Mary Jane, which is her soul sister, her replication, which is her too, I put them together in my heart, is here to make sure you see that vision. So that's the vision we share from the heart, just not of this old grandfather, but of that Mary Jane, that grandmother inside of us all, and all her fine representations in this reality. All of her replications, which are each and every one of us. All of us. See, you feel that mother energy now. It's been in denial for a long time. You have sworn against it in a way. But that was another day. That was a long time ago. See, now in our agony, and that's what caused such things to be, was agony, grief. This is why we have grieving moments here, to help us remember and to unite more thoroughly with those who never stop flying, who are just living and dying, but living always. That's us too, The singularity of that flow. When you move beyond the illusion of separation, guess what? You got integration, or reintegration as we would call it. Because it's coming back to life and seeing the presences in all the parallels and dimensions that are here with us. And seeing the unity and the singularity of life. It's incredible when you begin to experience this. Off the charts in its magnificence, and you don't care about anything else. It'll all take care of itself. Just be alive in that loving presence and let it flow through you, babies. The gift of love flowing from 9,000 feet above, here in the Rocky Mountain sky, and down there on the beach with you and I. Wherever we happen to be, that's where we fly. Because it's you and I, alive, with the pleasurable love of life, the living truth of it, in our surroundings as well as our inside. See, that's a unity, a unified energy. The same expression within and without. When you live it. When you love it, you are living it. When you're living it, you can't help but love it. Changes your whole form of expression too, see. On this magnificent Monday, you set yourself free. Don't punch your clock again, man. Get with the program. You know where to go, baby. It's the Coyote Medicine Show. Leading you on the flow, man, through your own heart. The Oracle of Love would never, ever let you down or let you fly in a wrongful direction, now would she? I didn't think so, man, because she's in you and she's in me and she's all of us, don't you see? Mama love, baby. Just be. Set yourself free.